Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man JRich. Count that money, man. Now wipe the crust out of your eyes. Get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense and you sound silly as hell. Let's get it, GMG damn P. It is Monday, May 27th, 2024. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with your boy Ray G, and I appreciate you being in the damn building. No JRich today. I'm flying solo, but I see the squad is with me. What's happening with your gold rings? Cold World TDE in the building. Patrick Price. I see goat rings. Ty DeClaire. What's going down with y'all? Dynasty Empire, GMGP to you as well, my friend. We popped the show off a little later today since it's Memorial Day, and I do want to start off by saying happy Memorial Day to everybody out there who's got family in the military, anybody out there that lost somebody in uniform for our freedom, for our protection, for our livelihood. Just much love, big appreciation to you. As y'all know, man, we're transparent on this show, and I've told y'all many times that my mom and my pops and my mother-in-law all spent time in the services. My mom was in the Air Force for 33 years. My dad was in the Navy, so I've got the utmost respect, appreciation, love, admiration for those people who serve this great country that we live in. So happy Memorial Day, remembering all the veterans who did not make it home in uniform. So I just want to say that because I know there are a lot of armed servicemen and women who watch this show. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, we're going to have a fun time today. No JRich, he is out, but somehow he may make an appearance on this show because he talked some stuff last week on Monday, and we got to clarify, clear it all up. But we're going to have a good one. We're going to talk some OTA, some hype, some things that are going on in the NFL space right now. It's crazy that we're already right there. It's June pretty much. We got July, it's training camp, and before you know it, the NFL season is right there. So let's get the housekeeping out of way. All the housekeeping stuff, and y'all know what it is. Underdog Fantasy, you see it on the bottom, see it on the top. Use the promo code ALLGAS. If you are not in, if you are not down, what Scott and I are doing with Best Ball Mania, the Palms, all the different tournaments, make sure you get in there. You get up to $250 in bonus cash. And if you happen to miss the show with Scott and I last night, we went round two. Scott and I did a draft together, a draft against each other, BBM5, head-to-head. Go check it out. We talked some theories, some strategies, some game theory around these tournaments. Make sure you check that out. And then I also dropped the piece on Trey McBride, new piece, Let's Talk Ball, where we're diving into a lot of stuff that nobody in fantasy football talks about. The actual element of playing football and what goes into positional scoring, how players are used, different route concepts, different personnel groupings. If Trey McBride really has what it takes to be the tight end one in fantasy football, some people think he might be the next Travis Kelce. Dive into that video, kind of talk about that and a lot more. So appreciate y'all being here today. And I told you, what's up, Cold World? What's going on? GM to you, man. Good morning to you. What's up, Mr. London L. Wood? Where's Jimbo at? Is Jimbo in the building? Because Jimbo was one of the people talking shit too. So I don't know if Jimbo's in here, but I do know that JRich has a message. He wanted me to bring something up on the show since he's gone. So let me pull up JRich and bring up a little something he wanted to hash out this morning. Let's talk about it. Luka, Kyrie, the Mavs, Gafford edition, PJ Washington come in. I got Dallas in 6.
And I think that Minnesota's a deeper team. Ant says he's going to take on Kyrie, which could be interesting.
They're not deep. They played 6 players. They played 6 players last night, man. After Naz Reid, I'm not worried about Kyle Land. They're not deeper. They're not deeper. You thought Minnesota would lose to Denver, and now you think they'll beat Dallas.
But you're talking about Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. Like, it's a two-man show in Dallas. When Jaden McDaniels is putting up 23, when you know Cat can put up 20, when Rudy Gobert is going to put up 15, especially on a Dallas team that doesn't play against the interior very well, like, I think when you just look at the team, it's fair to say that Minnesota has a lot more options, and
dude,
that's just how I feel.
But here's the thing, Jay, let me just tell you.
Daniel Gafford.
JRich. JRich, you know what it is, baby. Bring the parade. Get it ready. Get the trophy ready. Dallas is taking the shit home. The Mavericks are up 3-0. I said Dallas would get it done in 6. I am sorry. They're about to get it done in 4. I told y'all, hey, GQ watches all sports. I'm watching all things sports. I may be primarily talking about fantasy football in the NFL and college, but I'm tapped into all of it. Tennis, golf, hockey, cricket, crochet, darts, power slap. I'm watching it all. And I tried to tell JRich. He argued me down. People in the chat said I'm being a homer. Kyrie and Luka dominating, and it's really cool to see Kyrie Irving getting his flowers, because when he was out there in Brooklyn, they tried to cast homie off as crazy as shit, bad teammate. You can't win with him. I actually saw an article or a clipping byline of he's your problem now. Trade him out of Brooklyn, get him to Dallas. He's your problem now. We don't care what we get for him. Try to tell y'all. Dallas about to get it done. Boston is going to cakewalk through Indiana. I mean, they had some close games, but they played nobody this playoffs, and Dallas is going to get it done. Dallas is about to get it done. Kyrie getting his flowers, and it's really cool to see this because he was such a big part of those championships with LeBron and Cleveland, and when Cleveland and Golden State were going at it. But that was LeBron's time, right? He was the captain. He was the head honcho, and right now they've got two of the best backcourt in NBA history, 2 closers. Both of them cats dropped 33. Mavs got it done, man. JRich, what else do you have to say about that?
Daniel Gafford. Look at
JRich talking shit about Daniel Gafford, and he's out there getting it done. So shout out to the Mavs. It's going down. Ricardo says not versus Boston. They're going to beat the brakes off Boston, man. They'll beat Boston in 6. They'll beat the brakes off. Boston ain't playing nobody. Dallas beat the brakes off Boston. But let's talk some NFL, baby. OTAs underway right now. And I want to start off talking a little bit about Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. This is for my girl, Joe. Is Joe in the building? I saw her in here earlier. This is for my girl, Joe. I want to talk about this situation going on in Las Vegas. And did anybody happen to see the video? And if you didn't, you know I got y'all covered. Let's take a look at old Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Here's AOC. He switched his number to 12 in practice. Good throws right here. Right, the quarterback accuracy drill. Just kind of easy. It's not like it's a far pass, right? Just a little play action, a little read. Just hit the target. Aiden O'Connell dotting up. Devontae Adams right here. Trey Tucker getting the ball. Here goes Gardner Minshew. All right, Minshew, drop back. All right. A little off target here. Did anybody say it? Did anybody see it? Gardner Minshew. We're going to fake it. Chat, what do we think? How we feeling about this battle in Las Vegas? There's a lot of people excited about what could be in Las Vegas this year, but there's still sort of no, there we go, Minshew got one that time. He finally put one in, but there's still no sort of direction here with either of these two quarterbacks. I don't know what they're going to do. Feels like both of them are going to play at some point this season. I don't think that it's going to be just one man. It's going to be Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew for the entire season. I see Cole World laughing here. Patrick said he thought the same. But what do we no, I'm not playing the Levis. Hey, come on, man. It's Memorial Day. Don't be in here talking about we're not going to play the Levis video. We are not going to play the Levis video. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't go look it up. But let's talk about Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, because I think in Superflex leagues, like, this is just free money with one of these quarterbacks. If you bet on the right outcome for the quarterback that is the starter, the quarterback that's going to take the lion's share of the snaps, be involved in that offense. We saw the offense play much better towards the end of the season. The Raiders, period, played way better when they took over, when Antonio Pierce took over, both offensively and defensively. You're talking about a team that should have a much improved defense this year, bringing in Christian Wilkins from Miami, some of the offseason additions they made throughout free agency. This is a team that should be competitive. And if the Raiders are competitive defensively and they're in it offensively, then you're going to want some of the pieces. Devontae Adams is going as a second-round pick. Top of the second round, an Underdog right now. You got Jacoby Myers. People excited about Brock Bowers, Zamir White, the rushing attack. Who the hell is playing quarterback for the Raiders? Anybody got a clue? Let me see. Joe's in the building. This is who I want to listen to when it comes to the Raiders. She said AOC is getting the first crack. I believe that too. A lot of people don't feel that way, but I'm with you, Joe. I think AOC gets the first crack. Tyson says sold Minshew for Pearsall. I like that. That's good. That's good stuff right there. Got Minshew taking that job from the young prospect because that's what Minshew does. So there we go. Raiders defense is going to take another step. That's what I was talking about, Patrick. They're better. And if you're a better defensive team, putting your offense in better situations to kind of set them up, then that's good stuff right there. So it's going to be interesting. We got one for AOC, one for Gardner Minshew. But either way, it's small potatoes with those two quarterbacks. A quarterback that's got a much bigger target to throw to and a lot more enthusiasm around this entire situation is a place and a team and a receiver and a tight end and a running back that we just are praying that we get some good production out of. And we're very excited about everything that's going on in Atlanta. And we finally, we talked about this a couple of wake-ups ago where I was like, oh, man, I haven't seen any video of Kirk Cousins, nothing with Kirk Cousins, and then boom, literally like 2 hours after I said that, it was hella shit coming out with Kirk Cousins throwing the ball, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, whoever the hell else is out there. But we're seeing Cousins' connection with Drake London, with Kyle Pitts throughout these early OTAs, and I just want to know how people are feeling. Are we feeling a lot better about Kirk Cousins and what he can do in this offense? What are our thoughts about Drake London? This is a player for 2 years. He hadn't really given us any production in fantasy. Hasn't done a lot of anything at all. He has maintained his value. He's been able to stay afloat the KTC rankings. He is still a very valuable asset. We're not debating how valuable Drake London is or isn't. But outcome. What are we hoping we get out of London this year? What is it? This is year 3. This is year 3 for a receiver we were very high on. And normally by year 3, you kind of know. Do I have a guy? Do I have a dog? Do I have an elite player? Do I have a really good player, but not quite in that difference-making range, not quite top 8, top 6? I don't know where, like, the prospect homer in me wants to be like, this is a dude that is no doubt going to finish as a top 10 option at the position, top 8 option. It's hard. It's hard thinking about all of the players, all the receivers that London has to ascend above in order to hold that, right? It's Puka Nacua, it's A.J. Brown, it's Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb. People got Marvin Harrison Jr. up there this year, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. There are a lot of names, a lot of names with a lot of game, a lot of names that have done it over the course of the years to just say that he's going to leapfrog and ascend those guys. So my question to you all is, if top 8, top 6, top 10 is not a realistic outcome, if that's putting too much magic beans in the Drake London outcome bucket, what do you do with him? Right? If you don't reasonably believe that he's going to be a top 10, top 8, and I continue to use those thresholds because those are difference makers. Being wide receiver 13, there's not much difference between wide receiver 13 and wide receiver 17. There's a big difference between the cat that finishes as wide receiver 6 versus wide receiver 11. So I'm continuing to push the goalpost to difference maker range because I believe that's what most people want out of London. So I'm going to go to the comments and see what y'all are saying. If he has a Nico type breakout, are we happy? Patrick, where did Nico finish last year? Was he like wide receiver 9 on a per game basis? I don't have Nico's stuff pulled up. I was tweeting about Nico over the weekend, but where did Nico finish last year? Was he like top wide receiver 9? What's up, Shane? Shane in the building. What's happening with you, Shane? Was he teammates with Amon-Ra? I do believe I think they did cross paths. I think they did. Let's see. Let me see. I don't think Drake, here's one from Goat Rings. I don't think Drake can have a top 8. Can happen with Pitts and Bijan there. Basically can't happen with Pitts and Bijan there. Drake London has a median projection of 14 fantasy points per game, ceiling of 21 per game. And then we got another one from Goat Rings. London has to have Smitty-like season from 2 years ago, or he'll start to be in the T. Higgins type tier for production. Top 12 over or under. Good question. Empire. Top 12 over or under. I think he's inside of the top 12, but the question I'm asking is there a realistic outcome where he's like top 8? That's what I want to know. I don't want him to be 12. I want him to be 8, 7. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm expecting. At least that's what the hopium in me feels like I want out of Drake London. If he can finish in that top 8 range, I'm good. If not, man, y'all, it might be one of those situations where you might be able to legit turn Drake London into something that is more usable, more valuable from a per game perspective, and still it may not have as much dynasty value, liquidity hype baked into him. So it's an interesting one. Wide receiver 12 on the year in 15 games. So let's see how it plays out with Drake London. But we got some more players to talk about, some more stuff to talk about, and I'm about to rub some people the wrong way. But listen, I'm just the messenger. D-Bro, Derek Brown, if you're in here, I'm just putting forth the information. This is not the GQ-driven narrative. I'm just putting the information out there. So there was a report, a rumor, some speculation, or maybe this is just fact right here. Says this is from Rick Sosa at Sosa Rick. OTA notes per Craig Peters from Vikings.com. Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins took all first-team reps while J.J. McCarthy and Jaron Hall worked with the scout team. There were also some reports that J.J. McCarthy was wildly inaccurate throughout OTAs. Listen, I don't know. I'm not here. This ain't no J.J. McCarthy smear campaign show. I like J.J. McCarthy, but I've also been on the side from pre-NFL draft that is a quarterback that I don't care how many numbers you put forth with his percent of passing attempts in the first quarter versus Caleb Williams. I don't give a damn about none of that. The fact of the matter is he did not throw the ball a ton at Michigan, and this is a quarterback that I felt, even as a first-round pick, I would love for him to sit, develop, learn, and not be rushed on an NFL field. And I don't think it's going to happen this year. I do believe that Sam Darnold will start the season as the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. I do believe they have an early bye. I think they have the first bye on the schedule, like the first set of byes in that first cluster, week five. I think they got 4 games. Then they have a week 5 bye. I think that's if he's going to take over for poor play or him having to get acclimated to the NFL offense, I think it happens then. I think it happens right after that bye. And those first 4 games from Minnesota, the Giants, they are underdogs in that one, but it's like the Giants. Then they got 3 really good damn teams that you probably don't want to throw a rookie quarterback who's not ready out there versus those teams. I think it's going to come after week 5. Just my opinion. I think that McCarthy, if he's going to play early, it's going to come after that week 5 bye. But I do believe that Sam Darnold is going to start. And that report for me, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make me feel any better or any worse about McCarthy. I'm just reading the information that was put forth with people who were actually at the OTAs. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't mean much to me because what have I talked about the entire process, y'all? Managing rookie and player expectations. The expectation for me was not for J.J. McCarthy to come in and throw for 4,000 freaking yards in year 1, come out the gate as the starting quarterback, lighten it up. That wasn't my projection or belief that he was going to do that. So seeing it, watching it, reading it, doesn't do much for me from a long-term dynasty value perspective, but definitely reel back the expectations that he's just going to come in and fuel this offense. Now, the follow-up and the real question of this, it really has nothing to do with McCarthy because, again, the expectation was he ain't going to play anyway, right? He's going to sit, and he's going to bake, and he's going to learn and all that other good stuff. So the real question is, and I brought it up last episode, and a lot of people didn't want to hear it, Justin Jefferson, folks, talk about it. Let's talk about Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the NFL, I would say, over the last 3 years, at least the best, or at least the top 2 wide receiver in the NFL the past 3-4 years, going into like prime Justin Jefferson year. There's still no deal done. I saw something this morning from NFL rumor account. You know how them joints be a little shaky. but that the Vikings tried to trade to get Malik Neighbors during the draft, that they were willing to deal Justin Jefferson. There's still no contract in place with Jefferson, and of course, he's not at OTAs. I mean, you can look across the NFL. Don't look too deep into that. There are a lot of veterans who are not at OTAs. Some are, but there are a lot of veterans who are not participating in organized team activities right now. But he's going off of the board still very early, especially in seasonal leagues. He's going off the board as a top 6, top 7 pick in Underdog. What are our thoughts about Jefferson in 2024? And if I'm not mistaken, let me just look this up because I want to make sure that I'm correct. He's been, listen, in football years, he's still very young, right? No doubt about it. Justin Jefferson is going into, let's go to his stats. I'm looking at his stats. This is his 5th season in the NFL. He's dominated every damn year he's been in the league. It's even last year on a down year with 68 receptions, he still had 1,000 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. But coming off of 1,400 as a rookie, 1,600 as a sophomore, 1,800 in his 3rd season, and that was with Kirk Cousins on 184 targets. What is realistic here for Jefferson in this offense going into his age 25 season? And don't tell me it's 1,800 yards. Don't tell me it's 1,600. Just don't tell me that. That all came with Kirk Cousins, who, say what you want about him in the 4th quarter or him in the playoffs, but his ability to just deliver the football as a passer, he's been one of the best over the last decade in the NFL. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. He's not Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But when you're talking about the level of consistency that Kirk Cousins has had and maintained since he took over as the starting quarterback back in Washington till now, he's just a walking 4,000-yard passer, right? That's just what Kirk Cousins does. So I'm just, it's just, see, and here's TJ right here. Volume will carry him for this season. I don't want him to be like Garrett Wilson, who got volume galore, but the targets were bad. I don't want that. That's not what I'm not paying wide receiver 5 prices, top 5 pick, top 6 pick for him to just be Garrett Wilson of last year. You know? I want some real, 1,307. Okay, that's fine. He's an easy walking 1,400. 1,000 to 1,250, 6 to 8 TDs. Joe, the apex is 27 for wide receivers. Interesting to see. I'm just reading the comments of what y'all believe. Alex said, I know Vikings fans are shook right now. They should have paid him already. There's probably a buy window for May and Justin Jefferson. That's from Patrick. Everybody fell for the J.J. McCarthy hype that Harbaugh started. He was seen as a 2nd rounder before that. Listen, again, I'm not here to debate what McCarthy is going to be or not going to be. I just don't think he's going to start the season. I never thought he would start the season. But Todd Zilla says, believe in Kevin O'Connell and the talent, my guy. Better than the Jets situation last year. 81, 12, 10, and 8. Okay. I love it. The Vikings defense equals JJ eating 200 plus in the stream, only 58. Yes, smash the like button. Draft Amon-Ra instead. It's just an interesting thought, and that's how I'm thinking. It's not even McCarthy versus Darnold. We know Darnold has no dynasty liquidity, but if you can get him cheap in some trades in a lineup league, even in best ball, I'd take him for the spot starts. Just really curious about what Justin Jefferson sort of does this year, what this offense looks like this season. David said, I'm not drafting Jefferson mid-first for 80 and 12. Listen, that's all I'm asking, right? If I don't think that's what you want if you are drafting somebody in the top 5, top 6. And I think people don't, when you start to look at wide receiver scoring and you see 80 and 1,200, you think like, man, that's not bad. Like, I will take that. And then you look at how, I don't want to say average or normal, but those are great numbers, but those aren't weekly crooked number difference-making scores. You need 1,400, 1,500 yards, 7, 8, 9 plus touchdowns. Those are the type of guys that produce those crooked numbers. And when you look at the WAR, when you look at the advanced data, they're giving you the bigger positional advantage and edge. You go find somebody to give you 1,100. Deontay Johnson probably going to give you 1,100, and you can draft him 7, 8 rounds later, right? DK Metcalf is going to get you 1,100. DK is going to do that. Yeah. And this is the conversation, Hoosiers. Those are Jag numbers compared to what is expected. So if you're saying that that's your reasonable expectation, then I would not be taking him in that spot. So, but we got some more players. Got some more players and some more situations and teams to talk about. Young rookie. I'm excited about this young rookie. A lot of people are. Brian Thomas Jr. at Jags camp. So you got BTJ out here working with the Jaguars. And this is a situation, y'all, where I kind of tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago about just the deployment and where Calvin Ridley and Evan Ingram and all the other pieces of this offense played at last year. I kind of talked about this. And when you look at the targets, Evan Ingram, first of all, y'all, can we show some love to Evan Ingram, who finished last season with the 4th most targets by a tight end in the last freaking decade of football. The only tight ends that had more targets than Evan Ingram did last year were Travis Kelce and Mark Ingram, both in the 2021 season, and then Jordan Cameron back in like 2013, 2015 for the Cleveland Browns. But other than that, the numbers that Evan Ingram put up, the volume, over 600 freaking routes run last year. I think he had 114 receptions, which is second in all tight end history and NFL history. But the fantasy scoring was below expectations. So there might be some room for Evan Ingram to be a little more efficient and get better. But you look at Calvin Ridley, he led the league in routes run as well. He led the league in routes run, led the damn league. It was like him and Garrett Wilson right up there in routes run. So you're talking about just over so much just opportunity in Jacksonville this year with a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who he's not the golden one that everybody thought he would be coming out of Clemson, but he's also not nearly as bad as people give him shit for. There were a couple of games where, I remember the game where T-Law ripped off like some 40-yard run and just dropped the football, just fumbled it. Legit just fumbled the football. He was getting his back broken, looked like his knee got torn up a couple of times last year. This is an offense where I think Brian Thomas is going to be pretty impactful pretty quickly. Christian Kirk runs all of his stuff out of the slot. He's always done that. Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas will be your 2 outside receivers with Kirk in the middle. You've got Evan Ingram at tight end. I love the running back room with Travis Etienne and what he can do. This is an exciting fantasy offense for Jacksonville. I think all the pass catchers do something a little bit different than one another. And while BTJ is a rookie, it's going to take him a little bit of time to get acclimated. I like what Jacksonville is doing. I'm excited about this rookie. I am excited about this rookie. Evan Ingram is the Rodney Dangerfield of fantasy. Evan Ingram going into my 3rd year, still got him in the 15th round. Like it. Really excited to see the AFC South this year. Yeah, people are very excited about the AFC South, man. It's good to see. It's good to see Anthony Richardson getting love. CJ Stroud and Houston, of course, getting love. You've got the Texans doing the Jaguars doing their thing out of the South. Well, what other team are we missing? The Colts, the Texans, the Titans. Will Levis and his new movie that came out as well. Evan Ingram's yards per route run was a bit suspect, though. Yeah, but he ran 612 routes, and there's definitely room. There was below expectation fantasy scoring there, so hopefully he gets it going this year. It goes 1A, 1B, NFC North, AFC North, NFC North, AFC South, AFC East. You're talking about the toughest divisions in football? Yeah, AFC North number 1, in my opinion. AFC North, the most difficult division in football. NFC North, I think I'll vibe with that as well. AFC South, yeah, Joe, I think you hit it. And then the AFC East, I think I'm with you. I think the NFC West has got to be in there somewhere. The NFC West with Frisco, with the Rams, with the Seahawks, and I think the Cardinals are going to be a much improved team. Yeah, I think you nailed it though, Joe. I agree. BTJ or Ladd McConkey. I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. That's been my rank since before. Those will continue to be the brand. I would take Brian Thomas over Ladd McConkey. All right, we got some other stuff I want to pull up and talk about. People were talking about Brock Bowers over the week and what they think he could or could not do, can or cannot become. But I want to talk about Jayden Daniels really quickly. Jayden Daniels, well, hell, we'll talk about this guy. Who's still in here? Let's pull this up. Who is still in here? Because some of y'all are and don't lie. Which one of y'all are still in? Rashad Bateman. Who is it? Show yourselves. If you're in the chat and you're still in on Rashad Bateman, show yourselves now. I'll just say this. They need receivers, right? They still need pass catchers for Lamar. They still need pass catchers for Lamar, man. The chat has answered very quickly. Cody Smith says, nope. Justin says, we here. There's a lot of no's. Joe, you can't make no face. I need a damn response from y'all. Who is still in? I don't want to see this hedging. None of that. Who is still in? Joe, I need to know if you're in. I got a hand wash. Bronson said no. TJ said I still have them. Yeah, I mean, there's some people pumping them up right now. Josh says, hell no. Hell no to Rashad Bateman. He's out there. Let's see what else we got in OTAs. I do want to talk a little bit about this situation right about where are we at? Where are we at, Drake May? Where's old Drake May at? I had him up. Here it is, Drake May. Got Drake May apparently throwing darts at Pat's OTAs. Look at Drake May, Pat's OTAs. Malik Cunningham moved to wide receiver. He's with a different team. That's Joe Milton right now. But Drake May has been quiet on the Drake May front. It's been very quiet on the Drake May front in the fantasy space. I don't see a lot of people. Isn't it funny, y'all? Like, just sit back for a minute. Sit back for a minute and think about where we were, a month and a half ago. Think about where we were a month and a half ago, where all we were talking about, this show, that show, the show over there, the only thing that we were talking about were the damn quarterbacks in this draft class. That's all we were talking about. Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, no way Bo Nix goes in round one, yada, yada, yada. And since the draft has ended, Joe Milton tripping over the bags, there's not been a lot of dissension. You don't hear a lot of talk about damn near any of the rookies outside of them looking like shit. Even Caleb Williams out there struggling apparently in Bears camp. And this is just it's the reality of the cycles in which we play, in which we analyze, in which we consume information. And for that period between February and April, we all forget. Or a lot of people forget about the guys who were actually on the field prior to the season ending, the veterans. A lot of people forget about those guys. But right around this point in time, when they start to roll back into the building and you've got to press Drake May over Matthew Stafford, you've got to, in seasonal leagues, you've got to make that decision. The real football kind of light switch clicks and you're like, yeah, man, I'm going to leave those rookies alone. I'm not even going to park any type of asset in these rookie quarterbacks. But how are we feeling about Drake May? A lot of people a couple of weeks have been talking about Jacoby Brissett not just starting the season off as the starting quarterback in New England, but finishing the year. I don't know about that. I don't know about Jacoby Brissett finishing the season as the starting quarterback for New England, but starting it off, hell yeah. Yeah, Drake maybe over Stafford, never. No chance. Pat, you're my 100% possible. What are we talking about? Callahan moves. Nix is the best shot. What's the question? Patriots wide receivers are going to eat with some brisket, some Brissett. I don't know. May over 9 games. So you think May's playing over 9? Bye week QB switches. I don't know when New England's bye week is. No clue. Footwork needs better. Footwork needs work is all I hear. Oh, boy. What are y'all doing with them? If you're in let me just ask y'all this question right now. Dynasty enthusiasts, let's talk about it. Because I want to know where y'all headspace is. Let's exclude Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels from the conversation for now. Because it feels like from a fantasy-friendly type scorer, like those two, you're going to bet on those two for a variety of reasons. So I want to remove Caleb and Jaden Daniels from the conversation. So let's just talk about the other 4 quarterbacks right now. On May 27th, we're going to get to the part where it's involuntary workouts and they have to be there. Then we're right around the corner from training camp. Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Those 4 quarterbacks in particular. Would you move them now? Right now. Just get out. And I don't want to be one of them people that just say, would you sell? Just sell them. Let me give y'all some players that you might be able to make that pivot for, or would you consider making that pivot for? So I'm pulling up KTC just because it's community consensus, right? That's what it is. Let's start dirty. Let's start dirty and nasty, and let's talk about Deshaun Watson. In the chat right now, would you trade any of those 4 rookie quarterbacks in Dynasty for Deshaun Watson? And here's the thing, what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you, because right now, all those 4 quarterbacks are rated higher than Deshaun Watson. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, and Drake May, all ahead of Deshaun Watson. So would you trade your rookie, one of those 4 quarterbacks, for Deshaun Watson in a 25-second? Deshaun in a second. Miguel says rookie QBs over Watson. Okay. Ben Smith said I'd sell Nix and Penix. Joe said Watson is cooked. Pat's bye week is 14. Brisket ain't making it that long. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it that far. Okay. Goat Ring says nope. Shop Key says no. Cool. Got to start low. Work our way up. Patrick said maybe Penix. Rooks, and I hate all the rooks. Cody said all the rooks, and we'll stop there. Cody Smith, shout out to Overreaction, Fantasy Draft Room. May for Penix Plus. Okay, no. I want to go veterans. I don't want to go rookies for rookies. All right, Deshaun Watson was low point. Let's go Bryce Young. Would you move any of your rookie QBs for the bet of Bryce Young? And I'm going to keep it a second. Because most of the other ones are rated ahead of Bryce. So Penix and Bo Nix are both below Bryce Young. So would you move Bryce for Penix and Nix for Bryce straight up? Or would you move Drake May or J.J. McCarthy for Bryce in a second? Talk to me, chat. I need to know. Okay, I got some hums. Some people are thinking. JRich is in the chat. I didn't know. He's in the chat. What's going down, Jay? Hope you had a safe flight, baby. JRich, I got something for you, man. JRich.
Daniel Gafford.
What's up? What up, Jay? Talking about that Daniel Gafford, man. Let's go. Bobby's World said maybe Nix. Nix, yes. Penix, no. Young has a golden chance. Coach is the QB whisperer. Y'all, I'm going to be very vulnerable. I'm going to be very transparent. I preach patience, expectation, not getting overly excited over OTA practice videos and shorts and T-shirts. I tell y'all this all the time. Talk shit about those who overreact to it. Y'all, Xavier Legette, I'm very excited for. I don't give a damn about his collegiate profile. I know he didn't do anything. I am very excited to see Xavier Legette. I think that this young man, in combination with Deontay Johnson, the veteran presence there with Adam Thielen, I think he can make I don't think he's going to smash this season. I don't think he's going to go out there and become the wide receiver 1 and take over for Deontay and render Adam Thielen useless. But I do believe that he's going to put enough on wax to where there's going to be some enthusiasm for him going into 2025. I'm very excited about Xavier Legette. But anybody moving Bryce for those young guys. Young put on some muscle. They surrounded Bryce with an upgraded O-line. All right. Bryce in a second. Take my May for that. Fizzle Dollar spoke. Fizzle said he'll do it. Fizzle said he would do it. Bryce in a second for one of those other QBs. And then the final one I'm going to just ask y'all. I'm just going to ask you right now. Would you take any of these quarterbacks head up, 1 for 1? I'm getting the better quarterback. You can take J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. T-Law, Tua, Purdy. T-Law, Tua, Purdy. T-Law, Tua, Purdy versus any of the rookie quarterbacks not named Caleb and Jaden Daniels. Where we at? Bobby's World said yes. Love me some Bryce in a second for any of those rookies. Give me all of them. Vets, rook. Okay, we worked our way up. We started at Watson, went kind of middle range with Bryce, and then I did take it a notch up. I took it a notch up. All right. Okay, we got one question mark with T-Law. T-Law, Tua, Purdy, all the vets. Now we're overreaction, vets, rookies. Okay. Now we're to the overreaction, vets over the rookies. I do it for May or Penix, I think. Joe, are you, Joe, let me just get some clarity, Joe. You know, you're my girl. I got to get clarity. McCarthy, you wouldn't do it for McCarthy? Like, you would rather keep McCarthy opposed to take one of those other quarterbacks? You know, sometimes GQ and the reading comprehension, I just got to get some clarity here. Give me Goff, too. Interesting, Patrick. Patrick's saying Jared Goff over him, too. That's a real good one. Goff just got paid. Fuck, what is he, the highest paid quarterback in the damn NFL? He's valued as QB 18 right now. He'll be 30 years old, just got a mega deal. Should leave him in Detroit for at least 3 more years. We can throw Goff in the mix too. I tried to keep it a little more youthful with Purdy and T-Law. You know, Purdy, T-Law, and Tua. Buy low on T-Law for sure. Goff easily, all but Tua. Interesting, y'all. We live in a silo, right? We live in bubbles. We live in worlds. So when I ask these questions, I'm truly trying to gain some information on how people are feeling about some of these guys. So this is interesting. I would 100% keep. Yeah, I wouldn't do it for JJ. Okay. So Joe says Joe, you are in on the McCarthy. Who else is, see? I probably would trade all them damn rookies for every last one of them quarterbacks I just said. Probably. Because here's the reality. Y'all, I'm not going to sit here and act like I got the answers to the test. I don't know who it's going to be. We had 6 quarterbacks taken in the first fucking 12 picks of the draft. 6 of them. 3 are going to bust. 2 of them are going to bust, right? Just the averages, 2 of them are probably going to be awful quarterbacks. One of them might be fine. And then we're hoping that we get 2 studs. But the likelihood that 4, 5, 3 of them are true fantasy producers, I don't know. Probably not a good bet. So you got to kind of figure out which one you want to place your chips in on. You know, which one of those guys you want to say, that's the one I'm rocking with. For me, it's Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, the first 2 off the board. The 2 most dynamic ones, the 2 that can give me points in a multitude of ways. But this is, anybody going to be surprised if 4 busts and 2 serviceable? No, I wouldn't. I'm trying to be kind here. I'm trying to be nice. Michael said Daniels will bust. It's 21 all over again. I don't know if it's that bad. I don't know if it's like that, but it's going to be interesting to watch all this stuff play out. But we're not done yet. I gotta get to the man. I want to know who else is still in. Let me pull them up. I gotta know who else is still in, because this is a player that has literally been buried. He has been buried, gone, left for naught. Stinks. He's a bum, but data-wise, he was not even close to the worst rookie wide receiver in the class last year. But y'all, who is still in? Is anybody in the space? Quentin Johnston. Let's talk about old QJ for a little bit. QJ, Justin Herbert, lighting him up. I'm reading reports. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the conduit of the information that crosses my timeline. And the information that's been crossing my timeline is Quentin Johnston has looked pretty good during OTAs. Again, y'all, it's OTAs, so we take it all with a grain of salt. But I want to know, because it costs you $0 in fantasy. It doesn't cost you a damn thing, right? Doesn't cost you a damn thing at all. And we've had this bet. Scott Connor and I have had this bet. I believe JRich and I got a $100 bet on this, that everybody believes that Ladd McConkey is going to lead this team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. I think that is foolish. I do not believe Ladd McConkey is going to lead the Chargers in anything as a rookie slot wide receiver. And I don't give a damn what you say. Yes, he could play outside, but I bet you he doesn't. I bet you he's lined up on the inside more than he is on the outside. Ain't got shit to do with him being white. None of that. I like Ladd. That's my dog. I texted him the other day. But no, I do not believe that he's going to lead this team in anything. I like Ladd McConkey. I think QJ is, listen, I'm not going to call him suspect, Milton. I'm not going to call him suspect. I just don't think he's going to lead this team in anything. But the question is QJ. So let me go to the chat. Stanley says he still likes some Quentin Johnston. So Stanley is still like, okay, and by like, I'm not going to embellish that y'all are saying that you want to go trade first-round picks for these players. I'm not putting you on the spot to that degree. I'm literally just asking who's still got a little bit of hope there for QJ in that offense. TCU wide receiver Matt. Never again, my friend. From a prospect standpoint, never again. But now that he's been in the league a year and a half, I'm going to try to erase that from the memory bank. But I promise you, the day that I tout another TCU prospect is the day you need to unsubscribe. Be done. If you hear me talking about it, say, GQ, you told me to be out if you started to pull this bullshit again, and here you are. But I'm not, listen, I wasn't in on QJ as the prospect, but seeing where he's fallen now, I got a little interest in QJ. What do we have? Patrick said, I'm in for free. QJ is Mike Williams with a broken leg. 100%. Sadly, so Dynasty Empire said, I am in, but Goat Rings, Matt, Ray G back on the TCU train. No, I'm not. I am not. I'm back on the cost of acquisition train. Stop it. I'm not on the TCU train, Goat Rings. Cut it out. My money is on Palmer. That's my money too, Graphic 13. That's my money. That's where my money is too. It's on Josh Palmer. He couldn't even lead his own team in college. The lad, W Flex. QJ is the new N'Keal Harry. Josh Palmer will lead the team. That's what I believe that as well. Wall bang, that's what I said. Let's see. Him and Devontae Adams. Okay. Now we got some people bringing some facts to the table. Thank you, Michael, for bringing some factual knowledge to the chat. Help us out in here. Him and Devontae Adams had identical rookie stats. Was always a work in progress. Thank you for some realism. We got some real football talk in here that QJ was not a finished product coming out. He was not. That's why he wasn't picked in the top 10, top 15. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say he's going to become Devontae Adams, right? That's a Hall of Fame wide receiver there. But here's what I'll say. And I feel very confident putting my name. You can clip this, save it, put it on X, whatever you want. Putting my name on is I don't think he's going to go away. I don't believe that he's going to be relegated to the bench. I don't believe that he's not going to get any PT. I do believe that he's going to be on the field and he's going to continue to get opportunity to produce. Is he going to be able to capture that and get it done? I don't know. I'm not on the field. I can't help coach. I'm not in the locker room. But what I'm chasing in fantasy and what we're all chasing is opportunity. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we're chasing, opportunity or efficiency, one or the other. We're not chasing inefficiency, and nobody's chasing players that have no opportunity. That's a universal thing that we can agree on, is we want players who have an opportunity to get an opportunity to score some fantasy points. And I do believe that Quentin Johnston will be in that mold of players with an opportunity to get an opportunity to score some fantasy points. Is this somebody I'm out here pounding the table for, saying you got to go get him, trade everything you have? Hell no. But where he's going, where the hell is he? Where's he ranked behind right now? Let's just find Quentin Johnston and see where he's at. I got to go on page 2 of KTC. So QJ, wide receiver 61. Here's some names of players ahead of him. Khalil Shakir, Jermaine Burton, Jerry Jeudy, Jahan Dotson, Troy Franklin, Roman Wilson, Dontavian Wicks, Josh Palmer, Jalen Polk, Keenan Allen, 51. I'm fine with him at wide receiver 61 prices. Damn, Cortland Sutton, 63. DeAndre Hopkins, man, 65. Good night. Josh Palmer, the lowest rated Chargers wide receiver according to KTC, wide receiver 69. What a nasty number for Josh Palmer. 69. Wide receiver 6'9" for Josh Palmer. Let's get back to the chat and see what y'all are saying about this. Not going to lie, I got some Chark. Can see him leading them in yards. Yeah, DJ Chark as well. What worries me about QJ is the Chargers just kept drafting wide receivers like they had none. Not really, though. They took Ladd McConkey in the 2nd, Brendan Rice in the 7th, and they took another guy from Michigan, Cornelius Johnson. I think he was a 7th, 6th round pick as well. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays. We'll see how it all plays out. I think this is an interesting one. QJ or Rice, I would take Quentin Johnston. Like, honestly, I would take QJ. 1st round pick over a 7th round, 6th round pick. They drafted Rice and Johnston. Yeah, I don't really think that's. Let me ask you this. I guarantee you 98% of y'all in this damn stream right now couldn't even tell me what fucking number Cornelius Johnson wore or what school he was at. You probably don't even know. So I'm not worried about Cornelius Johnson. I like Brendan Rice, but no. And this could be very well the case. Round go, QJ will be in position, but then he'll drop it again. And that's what plagued him his rookie year was the drops. But the opportunity was there. And if you go to DD.com and take a look at his Trinity score over the final month of the season, like he was not the worst rookie receiver out there. You would be actually shocked at who was getting less opportunity per the shit that they were doing. Yards per route run, targets per route run. You'd be surprised at some of the receivers who were actually below Quentin Johnston to round out the season. So let's see. Michigan. Yep, you got it. It was Michigan, and he wore number 6, not 81. Number 6 at Michigan. Neither here nor there. But Cornelius Johnson, I'm not really worried about him doing anything to impact any of the receivers on the Chargers. But what else do we have before we get out of here? There was some other thing that I wanted to pull up and just talk about from the OTA world to see what y'all thought about this player. And there's a lot of hype around him. And what's funny about this player in particular, let me pull him up real quick, is I want to see if we've learned anything. I want to see if we've learned anything, and it kind of goes back to the conversation that we were having earlier with the rookie quarterbacks and me asking which one would you rather have, which one would you take, yada, yada, yada. But JRich right now is all the hype, all the steam, all the flair, all the flavor across fantasy. It's just Anthony Richardson hype galore. And y'all know, if you've been tapped into the show, I have been Anthony Richardson Truther 101. He was my 101 in 2023. And if I had to redo it again, it probably wouldn't be 101. It'd probably be CJ Stroud. If I had to do it again, he'd be right there. But nobody saw CJ Stroud coming. Not like that. But Anthony Richardson, the hype right now, the enthusiasm. It's fun to watch, right? It's fun to watch. What are we doing with JRich? How are we feeling about JRich? Calvin Ridley Truther already jumped in. He said guaranteed top 3 finish if he plays all 16 games. He's already there. He said top 3 finish if he plays all 16 games. JRich is not changing his game. MVP season, it's funny to see everybody in on the old JRich train right now. But I was the crazy one when I said take him over Bijan Robinson. Now all y'all asses are all... You start listening to old GQ a little bit, man. Except for TCUY. If I talk about I know y'all love me. I love y'all too. But I am an imperfect human as you are. If I talk about a TCU, just don't listen to me. Just do the whole QJ conversation. I just erase it from your memory bank. Anything else, rock with your boy. TCU receivers, just don't listen. Just in one ear and out the other. But Anthony Richardson, y'all, I mean, I'm seeing people in Dynasty startups talking about how high he's going. There's Damian Parsons, shout out to DP, talking about JRich right here. Like, what are you doing with him? Should he be valued over Stroud, over Jalen Hurts, over Lamar Jackson? And let's not forget that he too is probably still like a rookie, pseudo-rookie. Played 4 games. He didn't finish. Of the 4, I don't even know if he finished all 4 of those games. But he's sort of like a rookie this year as well. Love me some JRich. But what are you doing with him? I see Cody Smith. I see, and I am ALLGAS Truther 101. But Cody Smith just said it, and let's get spicy. Cody said, bold take, Kyler over ALLGAS. Man. Cody Smith, what do y'all think about that? He said, Kyler Murray over ALLGAS. Miguel said, how's the shoulder? I think it's 100%. I mean, he's throwing. I would assume it's 100, Miguel. I don't know. I'm assuming it's 100, though. Patrick said, I like it. AR better stop trucking D linemen. Got hurt in game 4. In Steichen, we trust 100%. I'm all in on Shane Steichen. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, hit the like button. Come on, if y'all are here and you're liking the content, subscribe to the channel. We're doing this shit every week. I love Ray. If he's wrong twice, he's correct 100 times. I mean, that's just how it works, right? Like, I've got to miss in order to grow. I've got to be wrong sometimes in order to be better at being right. Joe said Kyler over ALLGAS. In Dynasty or for 24? That's a good question. Let's go Dynasty. Let's go Dynasty. 24 is easy. Dynasty, right now. Kyler, Anthony Richardson. Murray and ALLGAS over Hurts. ALLGAS over Kyler. Stop. Stop it. Stop, Corey. Stop. Stu called him Kyler, man. Kyler, a better throwing version of Anthony Richardson. He is. I mean, he's a better passer. There's nothing wrong with that. ALLGAS is a freak, and I believe he's got the better play caller and Shane Steichen to a degree. But do we not remember what Josh Dobbs was doing in that offense? I'm just going to say this. And I highly encourage you to go look at that Trey McBride video that I posted. I've got access to some really, really advanced stuff. The true media service, that is what NFL teams use, NFL scouts use. You can literally look up anything that you want to see. How many times was the wide receiver 1 aligned in the slot in 11 personnel against man coverage in the fourth quarter, trailing by 2? How many times was that player targeted? When I looked at Arizona's distribution of just shit that went to the wide receivers versus Trey McBride, when I say there's a lot of room for upward mobility for Kyler Murray, for Marv, for Zay, for that offense, the O-line is strong. Kyler's going to get his first 4,000-yard passing season this year, and I think he's going to put himself in position to be comeback player of the year. As long as whatever games he played at the end of last season doesn't disqualify him for being eligible for the award, Kyler Murray's going to fucking smash. Even some of the run concepts that they deployed with Josh Dobbs last year, I mean, they were doing stuff where they'll motion the tight end, run a pivot counter, bring the tight end back around as the lead blocker, and Josh Dobbs is just down the field. And I'm just thinking, if that were Kyler, I guess a touchdown. I don't hate the bold call. I would say this. If you were willing to put your chips on the table with that bet, I bet you can get Kyler plus for your Anthony Richardson. I love him, but the hype is wild. And I am ALLGAS Truther 101, and the hype is wild. ALLGAS has the coaching. Kyler has the wisdom. It's a tie for me. Fizzle said it's a tie. Who runs Arizona's offense? The hell if I know. Gannon and somebody else. I don't know who it is, but it's damn good. It's damn good. And they were doing it with no receivers last year. None. They didn't even throw the ball to the wide receiver. Kyler has real injuries. Shouldn't be a hot take, to be honest. And don't get me wrong, I'm higher on both of them than most, so it's not just an anti-ALLGAS take. Yeah? Yep. I'm just going down this one. This is Kyler has 2 top 6 seasons. He's done it. I'm going to go with that. Kyler having Marv and McBeast and Zay Jones also helps. And a rushing attack and an improved offensive line with Paris Campbell, and they took another offensive lineman this year. ALLGAS will need a healthy Jonathan Taylor. Don't forget Dortch in the slot. Kyler was top 5 pre-ACL. Should have bought low while you could. This is the conversation. And Shike, this is a good one. Check out the video. Good shit, y'all. What's up, Tyler? Happy Monday, man. Happy Veterans Day. Are you worried about AR staying healthy with his running? I'll end with this. No, I'm not. Not at all, man. If you look at the two plays in which Anthony Richardson got hurt, one of them was when he scored a touchdown versus Houston, and he dove into the end zone and bashed his head on the ground. So don't dive in the end zone. And the one that took him out for the season, he was rolling out to the right, was chased down from behind and fell on his shoulder. So, and he did get hurt early in the year, dipping the shoulder at the goal line. But the one that put him out, that concussion versus Houston, he flipped and bashed his head, and then he was out with the fall down on the shoulder. So I'm not really worried about it and concerned about it, honestly. Shit just happens, and it's football. But yeah, Zay Jones, best ball, absolutely. Smashing him in the Underdog. So appreciate y'all being here today. Make sure y'all check out Destination Dynasty. Scott Connor and Cody Smith talked about any quarterback on a 2-deep, on a 53, talking about backup quarterbacks. So if you want to hear about Jake Haener and all these backup damn quarterbacks, they've got an hour-plus marathon for y'all to dive into that. So make sure you go check that out. Make sure you check out Scott and I's Best Ball show that we did last night. And we got more content coming from the DD squad this week. JRich, what you got to say before we get out of here for the people, man?
Daniel Gafford.
All right, Jay, we got it. Daniel Gafford. JRich does not like Daniel Gafford. Go freaking Mavs, man. Mavs in 6. That's what I said, but they're going to get it done in 4. Appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Y'all be blessed. I'm out of this thing. Where's the outro? Peace.